What's up, guys? Today I'm going to be doing like a preseason SuperCoach team. Now, chances are this will look nothing like my team once round one comes in a few months. But I thought let's just play around a bit, pick like a draft team. I'll explain the strategy I'm going through this year, and I'll explain why I'm picking some players. So starting off with the hookers, I really wanted Harry Grant, but to get that value for Jeremy Marshall-Kin, who's 111k cheaper than him, he averaged 62.6 in the 15 games he played last year, and he shouldn't play Origin. I'm not quite sure if he's a New South Wales player or Queensland player or neither, but either way, both of the New South Wales and Queensland teams have stacked hookers, so he'll be helpful for those Origin rounds. Brendan Hands, I think in the 19 games he played last year, I think at least 15 of them were coming off the bench, which is why he's so cheap. But with Josh Hodgson retiring, he should have that starting role at Parramatta, which means he'll play a lot more minutes, especially with the Parramatta. It was very easy schedule to start off the year. Payne Haas and AFB going stacked in the front row. I've gone cheap in wingers and centres, mainly because last year I paid up a lot to get wingers and centres like Val Holmes. I think I had Ruben Garrick to start with, Joseph Suwali. And while those guys did good, there would always be those weeks where their team wouldn't score many points, they wouldn't get any tries, Val Holmes and Garrick wouldn't kick any conversions, which would be bad. And the thing is, with all the cheap guys down here I have in wingers and centres, they should all be playing, I hope, and make money. While wingers and centres, like the expensive guys, if they have one bad game, their break-even gets really big and they start to lose money. So all of these guys down here, I hope will eventually turn into Val Holmes and Ruben Garrick, while my front row course stays around the same. That's going to be the strategy I'm playing this year. Moving on, Hami Sele, I think is the best front row the Dragons got going into this year. They picked him up, should play a lot more minutes than what he did at the Rabbitohs, being their bench front rower, and hopefully make some money. Sam Hughes should play, I think, coming off the bench. There were those games last year where he would come on in the final 3 minutes, score 5 points, which is why his average is so low. I think his average is around 15, so hopefully he can get the average up and get the price up as well once round one comes. Second rowers, a bit of a team where I think a lot of other people will be picking these guys. I'm going Tino Fasua-Malawi, very consistent. There's a reason why he's the most expensive front rower, second rower in SuperCoach going into this year. And I think he's a bit more consistent than Fafita. While Fasua-Malawi is always good for 70 points, Fafita can sometimes be like 50, or if he can score a try, he can be 120 points. And I'll just always take a good 70 points from a front rower, and that's what Tino Fasua-Malawi is. Sean Lane and Brendan Piakora. With Kurt Capewell going to the Warriors, Brendan Piakora should have that starting spot at the second rower. And Sean Lane only played 10 matches last year. Parramatta have an easy schedule to start off, and hopefully will go good. Morgan Smithies is a player from the Super League. And Ricky Stewart, anyone that saw John Bateman, he liked to use John Bateman in a good attacking form. And I hope that Ricky Stewart uses Smithies like that as well, so that way he can get good points from making tackles and run meters, but also maybe score some tries, make a few line breaks. Jesse Colquhoun, not 100% sure if he's going to play. Played 5 matches last year for the Sharks and averaged around a 30 mark. But by round one, he'll probably be replaced with some guy who's the same price who's playing in him. And Viliami Fafita, he's a good enough to have because he's dual position. And who knows, he might get some game time with how much depth the Dragons have at the front row and second row. They basically got no one there, so maybe they'll chuck the young guys on for a go. Halfbacks here, I've gone to Nico Hines and Mitch Moses. Originally, I had Dylan Brown here, but mainly because Moses does the goal kicking and he's a halfback, which means he'll have more of the kicking duties and would also have more of chemistry with players like Sean Lane and other second rowers. I went with Moses here instead, and he's cheaper. He's around almost 100k cheaper, which gave me a bit more money to play around with as well. And Nico Hines, probably the player everyone's picking this year. He's been the best player in SuperCoach ever since he's gone to the Sharks, and this year I think will be no different. Luke Brooks, I never thought Luke Brooks was a halfback, especially over these last 2 years. He's more of a 5'8", and he'll go good alongside DCE and Tommy Turbo, and hopefully score good points at Manly. And Aiden Caesar used to play for the Raiders. He played very well in the Super League, and now he's gone to the West Tigers. Hopefully will play halfback and will hopefully go well. Wingers and centres, I already explained. Xavier Savage, if he's playing fullback, I reckon this will be his year. This is probably the best Raiders side that we're looking at, probably since 2019. I reckon the Raiders will maybe even go as high as 5th on the ladder this year. And if Savage can play well, that might be top 4. Bronson Xerri, anyone that can remember him in 2019, I think he got busted for doing drugs and got suspended for 3 years. He was really good. I think he was at the Sharks that year, and I reckon he'll go good at the Bulldogs. He should start because Jay Cavarillo's gone to the Bulldogs. He was the other centre. So hopefully he starts centre and plays good. This Storm guy, Falongu, he played 1 game last year, got 83 points. And now that Justin Olam's gone to the West Tigers, maybe he can start. And now my fullbacks, Scotty Drinkwater and Ryan Pappenhausen. Pappenhausen, he should be fit to play round 1, which means of how cheap he is, he's going to be a must-have. And Scott Drinkwater, I was looking at the Cowboys' schedule. Pretty easy schedule to start off. They play the Dragons round 3, which should be absolute flogging. He'll probably be my captain that week. And the Dolphins round 1, I reckon it'll be a nice cruisy win for them. They'll probably get up pretty well. And Drinkwater, despite he can be a bit inconsistent, I reckon he pairs very well with Tom Dearden. And it should be a good year for the Cowboys. They'll be looking to make the top 8 this year. They had a lot of injuries to their team last year and suspensions, and I reckon this will be a much better year for the Cowboys. So that'll be it for this video. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. And maybe in the comment section below, say what you want to say about my team and explain your strategy this year for SuperCoach. And that's it. I'll see you in the next video.